You counted 7 car covers, and I said, look for 6. That 7th car, right there, under the wraps, that car is destined for SEMA this year, and it is destined for the history books. If you doubt me, check the license plate, because I can guarantee you that's the clue. And if that's not enough proof that we've got our ear to the asphalt, remember, it's only Monday, and we're just getting started.
And they're pulling out because of some of the really bad decisions that they've made in the last few months. And I think they're rethinking what this last model is going to be. I think they're going to try to save face. So welcome back. Thank you for hanging out, spending a few moments here with me. If you're new, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Now, today we're going to be talking about why Dodge pulled out of SEMA. Now, I know I'm a little bit late to the party on this topic, but I still figured I would weigh in on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, not only about their excuse about supply chain issues, but also to my speculation or my reasoning why I think that they actually pulled out. Number one is why they actually pulled out. They said supply chain issues, which I find very interesting because in all of their reveals, each of their, their last call models, none of them were working. None of them needed to start up. None of them needed to be anything more than something right in front of their face. And Tim Kuniskis can then explain what the upgrades were. So I thought that was extremely interesting, that this was an excuse. They could have very easily put some kind of a Redeye out there and then talked about what was eventually going to get upgraded. So what was the speculation on what was getting upgraded to this last model in the last call? A lot of people believed that there was going to be a significant increase in horsepower. The reason why is because in Dodge Garage, you take a look at the icon that's been used. A lot of people feel like this is going to be upgraded fueling, and it was going to be handled very similar to what the Dodge Demon was going to be. You would leave the showroom floor with a two PCMs. Okay, you had one that was tuned for 93, and that would be 805 horsepower-ish range. And then you had another PCM for race day. And you swap the PCM out, and it would then have a preloaded E85 or race fuel tune on there. And it would bump your horsepower up from 805 or 800 to about 840, 850. So you would be really similar in horsepower and torque to the Dodge Demon. And this was supposed to be their grand finale. This was going to be the big one. And I believe that they pulled out of SEMA because of how poorly all the last call models and all the negative publicity that they were receiving from the Mopar community. I believe that a lot of people picked up on the fact that this was just nothing more than a money grab. Not a lot of the packages were thought through. None of them were really that special. And, the heritage and the thought of the actual package was there. It's just the execution and what actually went into the packages were not properly done, okay? And a lot of people just are not happy with the direction that Dodge is heading down, whether it's through outside new leadership. It doesn't matter, okay? It all doesn't matter. A lot of people can come up with all the excuses, government issues, new leadership from Stellantis. It doesn't matter. The end result is what matters to most people. I am a huge fan of Dodge. I've been a huge fan for a little while now, and I've loved what they've done up until the last several months, and it's been very difficult to see these kind of models coming out and see the direction and remain positive. Now, a lot of people, think I'm bitter or sour in the comments below, and you're right. I mean, I do have my Charger RT. That thing's not going anywhere. I have my situation, but I also, too, like every other another sports fanatic, love to see my team continuing down the successful road. And I love to see, Dodge paving forward in the right direction so that when I am ready for maybe a trade-in for my Monte Carlo, I'll consider a Dodge as opposed to some other thing like a Ford or a Maserati or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is I'm rooting for Dodge's success, and it's very painful to see them heading in the wrong direction with new leadership or poor leadership decisions. And that's what I think last call is really happening. I think a lot of people are seeing very bad decisions, and they're pulling out because of some of the really bad decisions that they've made in the last few months. And I think they're rethinking what this last model is going to be. I think they're going to try to save face and reveal something that's not just a decaling package or a slight bump in power. I think they're really going to think this through and try to, make everybody happy. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think it's really necessarily just about the supply chain issues. I think they're going back to the drawing board and trying to figure out how the hell can we figure this out without pissing everybody off. So, I live in Florida, and the hurricane hit the West Coast pretty bad. And I have to say that about 25 minutes south of me and about 20 minutes north of where I'm staying all had major flooding issues in Central Florida. And then even on the East Coast towards Daytona, there was some major flooding issues. But overall, where I'm staying, it was just heavy winds. And the most real damage that I saw was that, a lot of tree branches and trees were falling down, hitting some lines, and a lot of people around me were without power. That being said, myself, my sons, and my wife, we all kind of hunkered down, popped some popcorn, watched some TV, and we were, we were fine. We didn't really have any major issues, nothing to report back. So really, anybody that reached out and was wondering how I did during the hurricane, I do appreciate you thinking of me and my family, but we were just fine. Now the Charger is under the knife, and I'm not going to reveal why just yet, but just know that it is a major surgery. It is huge upgrades are coming, and we're going to get this beast up and running where I can actually do some full throttle pulls. Up until this point, the last year, I've only done half throttles and small little pulls because the transmission just couldn't handle it. It would bog out. I would get check engine lights or transmission issues. There was definitely some damage done to that HP70 on a couple of pulls, and it just wasn't the same. After that, I could casually drive it, but once I started actually pushing it, some issues were popping up. So I do have a game plan. It's currently out of my hands. I don't have it right now, and I'm expecting probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks to have it back.